Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and to celebrate Disney's 100-year anniversary, LEGO has been putting out a ton of amazing new Disney sets for 2023, and today, the LEGO Ambassador Network has sent me a set to review, and this is a really exciting one. So this is the Disney train. It retails for $40 and comes with a ton of minifigures, including some characters that we've never gotten in minifigure form before. We've gotten them as mini dolls, but not minifigures, and despite this being a 4+ set, like this is a set made for kids. It is super simple. The build is the most simple train you could get. It's really notable for having a pretty great price. 4+ sets are usually really overpriced, but this has so many amazing minifigures, has a fairly substantial build as well, and I know this is one that so many Disney fans have been wanting for a long time, and so without further ado, let's just jump right in to the review and let's go. This is the 4+ Disney Celebration set. It will release on April 1st, and it comes with a whopping 6 different minifigures, many of which are brand new and some even included for the first time in standard minifigure form. So this is going to be a bit of a different review, because obviously I don't know if anybody is really buying this for the build. This is basically the Disney Characters Battle Pack, and man, is it a good one. So what we're going to do is we are going to really quickly look at the build and then spend a lot of time on the minifigures themselves and talk a little bit about value. So just for some context information, this is part of LEGO's 4+ line, which means that this is a line of sets that are going to be a little bit more expensive, especially based on price per part compared to other sets. They have a lot of large prefab elements included in them, like this large gateway piece for the side build here, as well as every single one of the train bases is a large single piece, and they typically have a bigger focus on minifigures, particularly in recent Disney tie-in lines with 4+, like the Disney Mickey and Friends line has had some fantastic minifigures and builds that are clearly just meant to be 4+ builds. But this is actually something pretty interesting, and to me it toes the line between being a 4+ set and something that adults and standard LEGO collectors would actually really like to have. So what this is supposed to be is it is some sort of a celebration train or float. Maybe this could be something you would see going along at Disneyland, where you have different costume characters going along through the park and you have little backdrops for each of the characters. Despite it being a train, the one thing I will say about the build is that it very clearly is only meant to be viewed from one side. In fact, as you rotate it around the back, you can clearly see that the back side just does not look good. You have just the back of a sail here, you have the back of a stand here, and then on here you have the back of a rock. So obviously, there is one particular orientation that you are supposed to view this, and that is this side, which is a little bit odd for a train. Typically, trains are meant to be viewed from pretty much every angle, but this is explicitly set up to only be viewable from one side. It's not necessarily a con, because obviously you can just use it as a display piece like this, and you could also just fix it or change the build around if you wanted to make it a little bit better to view from both sides, but clearly a lot of effort was spent making one particular side of the build look good, and the backside, well, being the backside, it doesn't look necessarily bad, but just a little bit plain. So the train itself is divided into a few different sections, and there's a little bit of a party area on the side. Starting off with the party area, because I think it's probably the least interesting, so we can just get it out of the way first. This is the part of the build that included Minnie Mouse, and you have just a bit of an archway here with the new, or relatively new, I think it's now 2 years old, but it's the Mickey Mouse specialized plate. So this is literally a piece that is made to resemble the Mickey Mouse ears. It's a very unique LEGO piece, and I still find it odd how they made that a piece, but I guess it was considered iconic enough as a Disney piece to make. You have some cake elements here. Let's get Minnie out of the way, and yeah, this is just a super simple 4+ standard gate style of build. Moving onwards from that, and we'll take a look at the minifigures later, we have the front of the train, which has a really nice printed element. This is a 2x4 brick printed on both sides with a metallic blue color for the LEGO Mickey Mouse Disney type of celebration. Really like how that looks. I'm actually a big fan of how this particular piece of the train looks, and it also is the most finished all the way around. This is one part of the train that does look pretty good from the back, from the front, from the sides, pretty much every angle. This is completely viewable, so that I really do appreciate. And for being a 4+ set, I like how they have a little bit of color blocking going on with the red striping downwards, the dark blue going up forwards. It's a nice touch. Moving onwards, the Mickey minifigure, we'll take a look at him later, so I'm going to remove him from the car, and we can go over to our first part of the vehicle, which is the Peter Pan section. Obviously, Disney is releasing a new Peter Pan and Wendy movie later this year, so they wanted to have a bit more of a focus on Peter Pan, which is why he has two different minifigures dedicated to the franchise. You have Tinkerbell as well as Peter Pan himself, which are both really excellent figures. We have gotten both of them in minifigure form before, whether it be in collectible minifigure series or in the Disney Castle set, but this is the cheapest set that both of them have appeared in. Previously, Tinkerbell was exclusive to the large Disney Castle that was basically like what they would have done for icons nowadays. It was a really big and expensive set, so I'm glad to get a standard minifigure version of Tinkerbell using new wing molds from LEGO Video, which was a really nice new piece that they introduced for that theme. Let me go ahead and remove these minifigures so we can continue to move on. Lastly, the one thing I want to say about the shaping of this build is that I actually kind of like it a lot. Having a brand new fabric piece for a pirate-themed sail is really nice. This is also something that can be just used in standard LEGO pirate stuff, I feel. Like, this isn't necessarily tied to Peter Pan. It does have the hook, but I mean, a lot of LEGO pirates have hooks. This is just a really nice sail that feels like it came straight out of a vintage LEGO pirate set, especially with the way the skull is done. So I'm a really big fan of how they were able to include this specialized fabric element in the boat itself. And the shaping is not even that bad for a 4+ set, so well done. Moving onwards to the next part, we have a Toy Story section. To be honest, this part of the build is probably the least interesting to me because the Woody minifigure is practically identical to how he appeared in the Toy Story 4 sets. Removing that here, you have a nice print for the sheriff printing there, but otherwise it is just a really simple brick-built gate, nothing super crazy going on, a turntable for Woody to stand on, cacti and a barrel, but yeah, nothing super crazy going on here. I definitely prefer the other section of the train to this. And lastly, we have a really exciting element because this is our first time getting a Moana LEGO minifigure. Previously, she has only appeared in mini doll form, so we'll set her aside for now. And I actually kind of like this. This is a really simple build, but it has a nice little water sloping down. You've got a crab underneath the waterfall area. Of course, you have a rock work in the back for the island of Motunui, not Motunui for Bionicle fans, but this was a really cool little build. It kind of adds a little bit of nature into the train itself. And overall, I'm a pretty big fan of how all of these different train cars feel completely unique, and I kind of am really curious if people will take the initiative to maybe develop even more train cars in this super simple style for other Disney properties and movies. I think that would be really cool. It'd be even cooler if LEGO released like another Disney train maybe next year that's the same price, but just comes with different styles of builds with different minifigure and dioramas. That's a really cool concept to me, having these little 4+ trains basically be almost showcases for minifigures. And speaking of showcasing the minifigures, let's choo-choo this train out of the way and take a look at the amazing figures for the set, because let's be honest, the main reason that a lot of people are buying this set are, well, these. So we'll start off in order. We'll take a look at Mickey Mouse first. This is one of the many Mickey Mouse versions we've gotten. It's not honestly that special. It is basically just using the standard LEGO Mickey Mouse headpiece. He has a nice little silver metallic detailing on the torso and a little bit of almost metallic blue. It feels like that in the light with the back stripes, but overall, this is just a pretty standard conductor Mickey minifigure. Not the most exciting to me, and honestly, I feel like we've gotten better Mickey Mouse minifigures before. This is just another one to add to your collection. The same goes for Minnie Mouse, although Minnie Mouse is considerably more deluxe than Mickey, particularly because she introduces dual molded legs with printing on the side of the legs for the yellow boots, which is quite remarkable. It is really well done, and the way the printing is done to almost give her an underskirt right there with the white types of printing going upwards, that is really well done. And like a lot of the minifigures in the 4+ junior sets, she has a nice little fabric skirt piece, which is really fun to see. Otherwise, this is a pretty standard minifigure, and the coolest thing to me are those dual molded legs with printing. It is a shame though, because this really highlights how LEGO does not do a good job of printing yellow on darker colors, or printing lighter colors on darker colors for that matter, where you can see that the yellow printing is kind of faded, there's some scuffs to it, and it just isn't as vibrant as the other yellow showcased in the figure itself. Thankfully, since this is pretty much just confined to the feet, you can kind of ignore it and it's not that big of a deal.
Moving onwards to the next figure, let's take a look at Tinkerbell here. Now, Tinkerbell is a really well done figure. Again, dual molded legs, so more excellent detailing on the minifigures themselves. She's got nice printing, but I think the most annoying thing about this figure is that, as you can see, they tried to make the skirt piece actually be printed on, so you have tan that is printed going upwards to the green part, and Lego's print quality is just not there to make this look good. The tan on tan printing is really obvious. There is a line separation where the tan is printed double, and of course the tan coloration on the lime green legs upper part just does not look good. It just looks really awkward to me, and obviously it's meant to be a seamless transition from this bottom part of the leg to the top part, and Lego just isn't that good at printing lighter colors on darker colors. So this just doesn't really look that good, and it's honestly kind of disappointing. I really wish it was just done a little bit better, because this just highlights how bad Lego's printing issues can be. Overall, though, the rest of the figure is not bad, using the same hairpiece, which is totally good, and I think the new wing piece from LEGO Video really suits the character a lot better than even the older wing piece that we've gotten in the past. Just a shame about those legs, though. The next figure, we have Peter Pan here, and this is a fairly plain minifigure. The most interesting thing going for him is that he has dual molded arms in the lime and tan, which I'm sure are going to prove very, very useful. Just plain green legs, a very plain torso, but he didn't really need that interesting of a torso because it is just an animated, simple character, and this is a really nice new headpiece. No alternate expression, just one expression here, but I really do like the dual molded hairpiece here, which is a hat-hair combo with the ears painted on. Just looks really good. You also have the red feather in his hair. That's just a really nice amount of detailing for this character. Next up, we've got Woody. Now, if you own any of the LEGO Toy Story 4 sets, you've probably seen basically this exact minifigure before. Good to see dual molded legs making a return. Of course, that dual molded hat-hair combo is a really nice one to get. But yeah, this is just a basic Woody minifigure that we've gotten. I'm honestly not super sold on the facial expression. I feel like they did it a little bit better back in 2010, 2011 when they were actually molding the Woody head. That looked really good and really accurate to the movie. This doesn't feel that accurate to me. It almost feels like a guy dressed up as Woody, but again, they wanted to keep it within the minifigure system, so it's not that bad. I just feel like it doesn't quite capture the spirit of the character that much. Finally, we have what is probably my favorite minifigure here, and that is Moana. I've been wanting to see the Disney princesses in standard minifigure form for a while. We've gotten a few, but not a lot of them, and this is really well done. The dual molded legs look stunning. I love the printing on the front of the legs. Thankfully, there is no issue with skin tone or anything being egregiously bad with the printing here. Everything does line up, and those legs are really well done. I just love the printing on those legs. I'm sure they'll be very useful outside the minifigure itself. She is just using the standard rubberized LEGO Friends mini doll style hairpiece, but I think it works perfectly for the character itself. And overall, this is just a really solid character to get in LEGO format. Two different expressions, which is really nice. Here you can see what the back of the figure looks like as well. And overall, just a really nice figure to get that I feel really does capture the essence of the character, which is really important when translating something into minifigure form. And with that, we've basically summed up this look at the Disney train. $40 US for 6 minifigures, and honestly, a pretty decent train is not actually that bad. I know a lot of people were saying it's a really overpriced set when it was first leaked, but there was also an equal amount of people saying that this cannot be happening. It's almost too good to be true that we're getting 6 minifigures for $40, and all the minifigures are actually pretty good. Like, I'm nitpicking some of the figures, but for the most part, almost all of them have some sort of dual molding. A lot of effort has been put into the printing of the minifigures themselves. There's just a lot of really cool stuff going on with the minifigures, and that will be the main reason a lot of people actually purchase this set, is to get these specialized minifigures, which it absolutely delivers on. I think this is a really cool concept for a 4+ set to just give us more different train modules, like release another Disney Celebration Train 2 Electric Boogaloo set, put some other minifigures in it, like put a Wall-E brick built figure in it and watch that sell like crazy. I feel like the concept for this is really fun. Yeah, for $40, it is still feeling rather high to me, even if you count each minifigure as like $4, which is a little bit of a stretch. I guess that's $24, which does not feel nice saying, but I guess that is how it is nowadays. LEGO would want them to be $5 each, which is even more. That's like 30 bucks. So for the amount of minifigures you get, given that a lot of them are actually collectible minifigure quality, It's a pretty good price, but it still feels like for $40, I love minifigures, but I also am a set guy. I love building sets, and I don't really know if I'm feeling $40 worth of value from this set. I'm probably the only reviewer online that's going to be saying this because everyone is saying it is so insane how good of a deal it is to have 6 minifigures for $40, which I do agree with. That is pretty crazy for LEGO standards, especially good minifigures like these. But I also do want something from the build, and while I do think the builds are fun and charming, it doesn't feel like a $40 set to me. Minifigures are great, but still feels a little bit overpriced. That's just my thoughts though, and of course I am very curious to hear what other folks have to say. Do you agree, do you disagree with my opinions on the set? Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this special review of one of the newest LEGO Disney sets.
Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look at the brand new 2023 LEGO Disney 4+ train. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the set? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Again, this is a 4+ set, so the build is probably not meant for the people actually watching this video, but hey, you know, I thought it was a pretty charming build, and those minifigures are really nice to get as well. We've summed up this review, so thank you all so much for tuning in to Duckbricks. Like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming away very soon. And check us out on Twitch if you want to see LEGO live builds, live streaming. We've got a lot of LEGO City set up and LEGO video games, all sorts of fun stuff. You can find us on Twitch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and bye for now.